The FBI has subpoenaed text messages between Subway's Jared Fogle and a former Subway franchisee. Now, the former Subway franchisee is unidentified. We don't know what her identity is yet, but apparently she had a sexual relationship with Jared Fogle, and through that relationship, which happened in 2008, they had a few text message exchanges that kind of prove that he was into some questionable things, including paying for sex with a 16-year-old girl. Now, I should note that in the state he lives in, Indiana, the age of consent is 16 years old. But remember, federally speaking, you're not supposed to be paying for sex in the U.S., so he might have broken some laws there. Now, according to the affidavit obtained by Business Insider, Fogle asked the former Subway franchisee in May 2008 to set up a meeting for him and her cousin. The cousin was underage at the time, according to the woman's lawyer. Also, we have some examples of the exchanges that they had. Business Insider did disclose some of those exchanges. In one of them, Jared Fogle said the following: "Any more news with your cousin? Tell me what you think about when you think of the three of us together." So he was trying to convince her to have a threesome with her underage cousin, which is amazing. Also, on June 19th, the lawyer says that Fogle again asked the woman to advertise herself on Craigslist. She responds, "Is this the same website you found that 16-year-old girl that you fucked? I still can't believe you only paid $100 for her." Okay. Also, in the message, Fogle repeatedly asks the woman, a Subway franchisee at the time, to advertise herself on Craigslist for sex with other men. So I guess he's into being cuckolded as well, which isn't illegal, but I mean, he's got all sorts of weird sexual fetishes. He asks her if he can watch the sexual acts and tells her she can make about $500 per act. Now, the incredible thing is she allegedly went to the fine people at Subway and let them know what was going on. She said that she was uncomfortable with it, and Subway did nothing. They didn't do anything until Jared Fogle's house was raided by the FBI. That was when they decided, okay, well, we got to totally cut our ties with him, delete any mention of him on our website, and move forward. They probably were slow to act because Jared Fogle is thought to have brought in at least like 2/3 to at least 50% to 2/3 of their new sales or something after he admitted that he lost a bunch of weight eating their salads or sandwiches. So whatever. If all of this is true, Subway is in the wrong for not doing anything about it up until now. But keep in mind that Jared Fogle hasn't been charged with anything yet, so we don't know whether or not he's going to face any type of prosecution.
Yeah, of course, allegedly this is all hearsay, but from a supporting a survivor standpoint, it's pretty disgusting that not only was he grooming and manipulating this young woman, like this is key signs of pedophilia at its best. You know, there's a clear mental illness in the way that he's approaching his fame, his power, and the way that he's using it on this little girl. For her to say, like, let's have sex, not let's join in your cousin who's also underage.
Yeah.
I want to watch you have sex. There's so many different things here, and it's pretty sad and disgusting. And allegedly, if this is true, I really do hope that they throw the book at him.
Right, and I want to clarify one thing very quickly. We don't know the age or the identity of the franchisee, so she could be in her 30s and it could be totally fine. And whatever sexual thing that they get involved in is totally okay as long as there aren't minors involved and as long as you're not paying for sex.
Yeah.
So in this case, it seems as though he paid for sex with a 16-year-old, which is why the FBI is subpoenaing these text messages. Becca, what do you think?
I think the real issue that bothers me is the time horizon we're looking at, right? Like this came, allegedly, she had sit-down meetings with Subway executives, 2 different levels, and this is in 2008.
I know.
And that kind of boggles the mind that we're talking about this right now, and that it took this long for it to come to light, and who knows what other sort of indiscretions and possible abuses have gone on in the interim, right? I mean, that's what really is disturbing, is that these things have to be dealt with immediately. And for a corporation to, you assume, just want to like bury this whole situation.
Yes.
Not want to deal with it. I will never be able to see Eat Fresh.
Exactly, ever again. Well, this is our country. It's like misogyny at its best when these men are in power and they have these other men who are in power. We saw this with Bill Cosby and all these men coming out. Now here, it's like, when are we going to start standing up and saying, a man who does anything that's disgusting to women, to other men, to children, we need to stand up and stand with those victims or those survivors in the moment and not let this go on because of the bottom line.
Well, it's just money, you know,
Yeah,
it's
which is
money.
what I'm saying, the bottom line is
corporation, of course, is trying to cover their asses. And I mean, obviously, this situation would have been really rough for them to deal with publicly whenever they chose to do it. But like now, with their tail tucked between their legs and trying to like act like they don't know anything.
Yes.
You know, you have to face this stuff head on. And I don't know who in their publicity or whatever, the executives decided to just not face this on.
You know,
Completely.
what I would argue is a great way of marketing your company is handling these situations as soon as they come up and handling them aggressively. I feel like if I were in this situation and I was a CEO for a major corporation that has a questionable spokesperson, first thing I would do is come forward and say, we have severed ties, okay?
Immediately.
This person is being investigated. We have no interest in someone who might have even been involved in having sex with an underage person. So that's it. We're done. Okay. We want to be as transparent as possible with the public. But instead, they decide, okay, well, we're going to bury this under the rug. And I think it's because they're worried that they will be associated with the crime that might have been committed.
But
Well,
you
now
are.
it's even creepier,
Yeah, you
right?
are.
It's like, because it's sneaky, it's underhanded, and all this time has gone by. And you're right, if they had just faced up to it in the beginning, I would have had a much different my opinion for Subway would have been vastly different.
It's like this boys club. I mean, I don't want to assume. I don't know who's at charge, but this just seemed in charge at Subway. But it just seems like this continuation of these men who are like, let's protect each other, let's protect our spokesperson, let's do it all. We don't want our pockets to be hurt. Who cares if a little girl got hurt? Who cares? You know, it's like this boys club, and I've been privy to it to some degree, and it's pretty disgusting when you're like sitting in these rooms and some of the things that you hear other men say that they're going to cover up just because of their bottom line or because of their ego or their pride. And of course, we don't know if that's the case here, but it's just all too familiar of why when 2008, an underage child came forward and said, something's not right here, why everyone didn't drop everything and say, hold on, there's a baby involved. You know?